In this section, we're going to look at how to use Excel as a database. So first off, we'll look at sorting a database, then we're looking at formatting it as a table, and then we'll look at filtering a database list. So first of all, how do you sort a table like this one on the screen? As you can see, this line is highlighted yellow, so that when I do this, you'll notice that it is not mixing it all up. So I'm not losing the age or mixing up the grade. Everything will stay together. A simple basic sort, for example, if I want to sort by gender, all I have to do is click anywhere in the gender column and then select A to Z or Z to A sort. Now you do have that option on the home tab there, but what I like to do is I use the data tab and then it's all in front of you there in the middle. So if I click A to Z, you can see that that just moves down. Z to A just moves back up. And then if I go into the grade column to A to Z, Z to A, so it's just doing one column at a time, leadership, A to Z, Z to A, and then if I do it on age, Z to A would be the oldest at the top, and then A to Z would be the youngest at the top. So that's a simple sort. What you don't do, or what you don't need to do, is highlight anything like this. If I go A to Z now, what comes up is this sort warning box, which basically says, do you want me to expand the selection? And then you click sort and then it works. But the problem with that is an extra step and you don't need to do that. So don't highlight anything. Now, if you want to sort by more than one column, what you have to do is go into this sort box. So let's click into there and you can see the last sort that I did is sitting there. I'll just change that to name. I want you to change that to name. So I forgot to mention that the file you need to open is this filter and sort file. And then you can work with me. So if I change that to name, and then it's on cell values, but if I drop this list down, you can see that you've got other options in there. Cell color, font color, conditional format and icon. And then A to Z, Z to A, and then custom list, which I'll show you on the next sheet. But for now, I want to leave this on A to Z. And then I want to do 5 levels, so 5 separate columns. Now we'll only look at the second column and the third column if the column above has got a duplicate entry in it. So I'll click add level, change the details. So let's go for gender, then all the rest of this can stay the same. Add level, grade, add level, course attended, and the last one is going to be age. That's what I want. We'll click OK to that. It's sorted it, and you can see on this at the bottom there's loads of Smiths. If I just colour mine in, then there were 4 female Smiths, so it went down to 4, 2 AAs, and they both did the same course. And then in this example, they have been separated on age like that. Now the good news is, if I type my name at the bottom, so you're adding a new record, you don't have to go through all that process again. What you need to do now, obviously that's not in the right place, is you go back to sort. All those options are still there. You just click OK, and then it'll put that one in the right place. And if I'd have filled all the data in, it would have pulled it all the way across. So that's how you do a sort. Okay, so moving on from basic sorting, let's have a look at sorting with a custom list. So just to recap, a custom list is when you can type a word and use a little black cross and pull it down, and it will put the list in there. So the default ones are the days of the week and things like that. So this is a list where you've got more than one Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday, and this has been sorted by this custom list, this order. And the way that works is you go into the sort box again and you select the custom list option through this button, and then that comes up like so. So if I just cancel that one off and then do it on this one, which hasn't been sorted, you can see what I mean. So don't want it on A to Z, I want it on custom list. It gives you all the custom lists. So I've got there Monday to Sunday, click OK, OK again, Never selected a column. Column G. OK. And then it's put all the Mondays together, all the Tuesdays together, and so on. So that's quite a useful little sort tip. Now the next one across is format as a table. So this is a table that's very similar to this one, only this one's not been formatted as a table. So when you format something as a table, you automatically get the filter icons that appear on the top titles there, and the formatting is carried on. So if I add an extra column or something like that, or a row, it will pick up this. Whereas when we did that, it did not pick anything up, it just remained white. Watch what happens here. So format as a table is on the home tab, and format as table. So it comes up with all these different options. I'll pick this option. It's now picked up the range, but it's picked up the title. I don't want that title in there, so I'm going to have to overwrite that and just select from the column titles. That's the range I want. My table does have headers, so OK to that. And then you immediately get these little drop down filters, which I'll go through in a minute. But the benefit of doing this is if I add something at the bottom, it automatically colours all the way along. And if I add a new column, just call it test, it just colours straight down like so. So you maintain the structure of the table. If I just do that on this one, so this hasn't got a title across the top, so this should just be okay. So format as table, I'll pick the same one. It's picked it all up. Yes, I do have headers, okay. And then you get the filters. Now that's got a strange colour. I don't know why that's picked that up like that, but who am I? Let's have a change of colour. Did I have that highlighted? I can't remember. I'm not sure why that's picked that up like that. It shouldn't have done. I do know why actually, because this has already got a colour on underneath. So if I take the colour off, so it has a paint pot colour. So if I go no fill and then drop this down and pick that again, it should have picked that up. I don't know why it's picked the black up. So I must have manually changed the font and everything on this. So I'll put it back to what it should be on white, and then that's it. So the reason all that happened is because the original table was manually colored like so. So I'd already changed everything, so from white to black and things like that. That's why I didn't immediately pick it up. But that's how you work format as table. Now, what are these drop down arrows all about? These are filters, and to use or show you how to do that, I'm going on to this next sheet, demo AutoFilter, and I will put them on manually. So this is not formatted as a table. So to put the filter on manually, you go to data, and this filter icon is what you need to click, and you get the same drop down arrows that you have on that format as a table. So what's the difference, you might say? Well, you know, I didn't get that's just picking up the basic formats from the table. Just undo that. So how does this work? It works like this. The phone goes and says, your boss says, how many people attended a leadership course? So you go to the course attended column, drop the arrow down, you take the tick off select all and tick the one you want, in this case leadership, and then click OK, and it drops it in like so. Down the bottom left it tells you there are 7 of 21 records that match that criteria, and at the top next to the funnel you've got a clear button. It's very important that you don't leave filters on. Clear, bring them back. You got the answer, you've answered the question, there were 7. Now the phone goes again and your boss wants to know how many females did equal ops training. So you go to gender, you take the tick off select all, you tick female, okay. So there were 9 females, but how many females did equal ops? So you go to course attended again, you take the select all off and you tick equal ops, and there were 2. You clear that one. So that's the basic filter. Different columns you can filter it, but you can also do date filters, number filters and text filters, which is what I want to do right now. So let's do a number filter first of all. So what's the criteria I want? So anybody over 50 and under 60 I want in this list. So if I drop the arrow down, I've got loads of ticks there. I could go down all these ticks and take them off and put them back on, but that would take a long time, and this is only a small table. Let's imagine this table was 10,000 rows. How long would that take? So to avoid that, you go and use the number filters. Now, the option I might want, it could be in this list, but I'm going to go down to the bottom, custom filter, and do it manually, because once you all of those options bring into this box anyhow, the words just change here. So I want greater than 50, and underneath and less than 60, and then OK to that, and there are 3 people. Clear that filter. Let's say I want to know everybody that's say this is a start date, started after the 17th, or from the 17th, yeah, after the 17th, but before the 27th. So if I go down there, date filters, so again you've got the ticks, but I'm going to date filters, and the option I want is in this list, so I'm going to select between. Now when you're working with dates, you have this little calendar icon at the end, date picker. So I'm in August and I need to get back to April. So from including the 17th to the 27th, including the 27th of April. So I've changed my mind. Including is equal to. Okay. And there are 11 of 21. And again, I'll go and clear that. And the last one, the text filter. If I want to know everybody in this list who's got an ID number that starts with CU and ends with XZ, drop the list down, avoid the ticks again, go for text filters, come across and down to custom. So I need to scroll down this list and select begins with. So if it begins with CU, it's not case sensitive, and ends with XZ. Now you may notice these icons at the bottom, so you can use a question mark to represent any single character, or an asterisk. So I could have put equals to CU asterisk XZ, and that would have worked as well. Click OK to that, and there are 2. Just clear that off. So that's the 3. That's the text filter, the number filter, and the date filter. Now back to the normal filters on this example. So I've already got the filter on, so it's already clicked on. It says there everything that was checked by Mr. Brown. So check by Mr. Brown, I'll go to the check by, I take the tick off, select all and tick Mr. Brown. Okay, 20 out of 40. I select clear, and then it's everything that was unserviceable and was checked by Miss White. So if I go unserviceable, I'll just take that tick off. Unserviceable, it's quite a few, 23, but only the ones that was checked by Miss White. So I'll take that tick off, tick Miss White, click OK, 3. Clear the filter. And the last one is, in these items, how many rooms have a double bed? So again, tick off, and then just tick the item you want, double bed, and just room 1 and 2 has a double bed, and then you clear. So that's how a basic filter works. Now what I want you to have a go at doing, if you follow me with this example, is filtering this table as it says in this little text box. Now if you're following the video, just pause the video and have a go yourself, and in a few seconds I will go through it, how to do it myself. Okay, so first things we need to do is go to the data tab and put the filter on. So it says there, filter records to show everyone that attended equal ops. So that's course attended. Take the tick off, tick equal ops. Okay. It says there were 14 out of 20 out of 42. So I'm going to click into this box, just put 14 there so I can remember that. Click back into the table, clear the filter. So now we're looking all females that are grade AO. So we're going to sex, ticking male off. There's only two options. Okay. And the grade, what's the grade? AO. Grade, tick off AO. Okay. So there are six people. Click back into the table to clear the filter. So number C says all records of grade A, O and AA over 25. So grade, so which one isn't there? We want AO and AA, so EO is not there, and over 25. So date filter here, greater than, so this might be in this list. It's not, so we'll go down to custom, select greater than, I'm in the wrong column, that's why it's not there. I need to be on age. Number filters, greater than. That's a mistake you make quite often. 25. Okay. And the answer is 25 out of 42. So I'll put 25 in this box. And the next one, everybody that's got an ID starts with CU and ends with XZ. So that's number filters. Text filters, custom, so you want begins with from this list, you type in CU, and then you want ends with, and you are typing XZ, okay, and there are two, so we're putting 2 at the end of that one, 2, and then click back into the table, clear the filter, all records dates between today and 10 days time. So today is the 14th of August on mine, so date filters, so between at the end there, date filter today and the 24th, okay, and that's 11 of 42, we'll put the number in there, 11, click away, filter all records, everybody over the age of 50. So clear this one, age column, greater than 50. So not equal to, greater than. And there are 10 people that are greater than that. So if I click at the end there and I type 10. And then the last thing to do is clear the filter. And then you've got the answers there. And you should have the same answers as me. Now moving on to the next one, demo advanced filter. One of the restrictions you've got for a basic filter is you can only ask with the ranges, number of filters or date filters, 2 questions in the same column. But you can, if you set up a advanced filter, you can ask multiple questions. So this one is how many people are male of these 3 grades. And that's slightly different in I'll go back to advanced, and okay, if I delete this off, clear this off, go clear filter, brings everything back. Right, the only difference is you need to create a space at the top of your table with a line space. So if I'm going to ask 3 questions, 1, 2, 3, I need 4 lines. The one needs to be blank. So these tables do not need to be touching each other. So if I want to see everybody that's, let's just do the same. Well, let's do females. So I want females. 3, and the reason I've got to do it 3 times, if you didn't put females, and if I go EO, AO, and DO, if I didn't put female 3 times, it would just give me all of the AOs and all of the DOs. So you do have to make sure the line is stipulating what you actually want. And let's say, I don't know if there is any of these at all. So let's do this one first. If I go like that, you go to advanced, Now I've already set this up, so the list range is A6 to G27, so A6 to G27, that's this list, it's highlighted. The criteria area is this top list, which I showed you, basically this area, to G4, leaving a blank line. And then you can copy it to another location if you wanted it over there, or you just want it in place where it is now. Click OK, and it applies a filter. So there is 5 people, 5 females of those grades. Now if I say greater than 50 for all 3 of those grades, there may not be anybody, but there may also be some. So I've just changed the criteria, advanced, OK. There are 2 people that are over 50 that marry up to that criteria. And then you can just clear that and then clear the filter as well if you want. It's just ready to go. So what I would do if I was going to be filtering information at this level in Excel, I would probably just have the normal filters on this bit and have the space there ready to go if I needed to do an advanced filter to get some extra information. But there are lots of other features available in Excel that will make your life a lot easier than doing this sort of basic stuff. But we're on the basic course at the minute, so that's why I'm showing you that one. Now the next one, I'm just going to go through this with you, how to set this up. So I need to insert 5 lines, is it? Let's insert, probably too many there. So to copy the title, so I'm going to copy the title, I'm just highlighting it. Now I'm sitting my mouse with that large black cross to push this up to the top. Now before I let go of my mouse, I'm going to hold the control key down, and you see a little plus appears on the mouse. When I let go of my mouse, it copies it. Now I'm letting go of the control key. So I want 3 criteria, so I have got too many lines. I'll get rid of one. I want a supervisor, I need supervisor advantage there. I want those 3. And I'm pushing them up to there. Control key down, let go of the mouse. And then I've got an extra line there, so I need to get rid of that. Delete. And that's my space. Don't worry about the formatting, that's okay. So when I go advanced filter, now nothing's set up there. So my list range is picked that up actually, so that's okay. It's a criteria range, it hasn't picked up. So I need to tell it where to look. So it needs to look into that area. And then I leave it on filter in place and click OK. And then it just filters, it says there are 15 of 18 that marry up to this criteria. And then again, you can go salary greater than 30,000. If there is anybody, you just keep going filter in place and there isn't anybody. So let's put that down a bit then. Clear that filter. No, there isn't. I didn't look first before I did it. So let's do over 14,000, 13,000. Let's go for 13,000. Advanced. Oops. Advanced. So these are all over 13,000. So that's the advanced filter, but as with all filters, you need to clear that off. Now, if you've got a newer version of Excel, you might be able to use this filter function, which is similar to the advanced function in that it's dropping lots of information into a different place. You can filter into a different place, but it's still only looking at one criteria. And if you look at this formula here, it looks quite complicated, but let's just go through it and you can see how it works. So if I type equals filter, I need to open the bracket. It's asking me for an array. This is an array function. So the array basically is where's your data. There's my data. Comma. Then it wants to know which column I want to filter on. So if I go for grade, like so, and then that needs to equal this cell there. And then I close my bracket, click the tick, and it drops it in. And if I change that to AO, these both change because they're both looking at the same thing. So that's the filter function. You can only use this function if you've got the most up-to-date version of Excel. So let's just go back to the first sheet, database sort. Before I finish this session, I want to have a look at how to do printing and print preview and print ranges and lists. So if I want to print this off, I just need to go File, Print, or Control P would bring me to the same place, and I can see straight away I've got a problem here. But before I do anything, I just want to show you what I normally would set up on my printouts by going into Page Setup. What you've got on this front screen before I do that, you've got orientation options. So I will put that to landscape actually, and you can change the margins. But all of those features, or a lot of those features, are available in Page Setup. So I'm just going to go into Page Setup. This is where you can get things to maybe fit on one page. If I click OK to that, let's just brought that across a little bit, then go back in. I might leave that as that actually. Landscape, margins. Now you haven't got a great scope with margins. 2.5 centimeters, 1.9 centimeters, not great. But you have these two tick boxes on this page. I like to tick these. So that sits in the center like so. If I just click OK, that brings that into the center. Go to click. Now headers and footers, I want to create a custom header. You have three sections. So the left section, I'll just type my name. The center section, I'm going to use some of these tools. I want the date and space and time. And then the right section, I want one of these features. So that's the file name and path. Don't want that, I just want the file name. And that'll do. OK to that. Then you see all that stuff across the top there. And you can do exactly the same for the footer. And you might want page of pages in the middle. OK. OK. And then you get the header and footer sitting like so. Now I just need to go back to the page there and put this adjust to 100%. OK. Now this is sitting over 2 pages, so I need to delete some columns to get this to sit in the middle. Now if I go back to the file, it's all of this. So if I delete these, so now it's sitting on the left, but when I go back to print preview, it should be in the middle. Yes, it is. So it's in the middle of the sheet. So if I go back into Page Setup and carry on looking at the next sheet, the next tab, it's got print area and rows to repeat at the top, which are grayed out, which I'm going to go into this box, Page Setup, from a different angle. You can't actually do it through print preview. But just to show you, you've got these options, print grid lines, and which order you want the page numbers to be. If there's more than one page, you can adjust them there. And let me just cancel this off. Go back into the file. So what I want to do is go to Page Layout. You've got the same link to that same area sheet, but now they're all active. You can do things. So the first thing I want to do is I want to set this as the title page. So this is going to repeat on row 3 on every printed page. So this is it, print titles. It'll take me into the same box, and you need to select this option and then just go and click on the number of the row. So it's put 3 there with $signs on it, and then I can click OK. And then set print area is when you don't want to print the whole sheet. Okay, I need to select something. So I'm going to select not the titles on purpose, not the titles. Select print area. Set print area. So I just want that printing off. Now if I go into print preview again, even though I didn't select the titles, because I've told the computer to put the titles on every page, they're already on there. So this setup is how I have all my printouts. Header and footer on, not with my name, but header and footer on, and centered like so, with the headers to repeat on every sheet. So if I go back, what you then do is you go to print area and clear print area, and maybe next time you have a different print area. Set print area, go to print preview, and there you've got a different list, but you've still got the headings, like so. And then, as always, if you finish with that, clear print area, so you're back to normal. If I now do, I'm just going to do Control P because I'm fed up of clicking on there. It's quicker. Now you've got the whole thing, but you've still got the headers, and it's in the center of the page. If you need to change any headers or footers, you just go back into this, and you can see that you can change that. Or if you're in the actual this view, down the bottom right hand corner, you've got these three buttons. This one is page layout, because this will actually show you this document like a Word document, so you can actually see the headers and footers. And if I click into it, you get the header and footer tab appearing with all those features that we just looked at through page setup available to you. And then you've got the same in the footer features as well. Now to come out of this, you need to go back to the first option, like so. Now this option, which gives you the page breaks, so that's page 1, you can adjust this to be bigger or smaller, however you want it to be. So page 2 there, look, is coming down, like so. I'll just undo that, I don't want to do that. But you wouldn't leave it on that, you would then come back into this. I mean, I do know that some people leave it on this view because they find it easier to work with, because you can see where the margins are and the headers are and everything. You can also see if there's graphs or charts going across page breaks, which is quite useful. And if that was the case, that's where this would come in. So what I might just try and do there is just see if I can show you how it will look. If I just select this table and copy it across, so I've moved that and I'm using my Control key to copy. So now if I go into this bottom box, so I've got an option, I've got a problem here, it's dropped over a page break. So this is where I would select this option, and what I need to do is find the page break there, push that back that way and have a look. That one, yeah. So I've sorted it out now. So that's the options of the page break view or page layout view or normal view, whichever you want. But this is the end of this particular section. What you need to do now is have a go at doing the practice exercises, and then we'll see you on the next one.